Good morning, everyone. It is March the 24th, and holy fazolies, I'm glad to be back. Thursday and Friday, my entire digestive system decided to, well, relieve themselves of duty. I don't know what was going on, but can say 0 stars, do not recommend norovirus. Just if anyone was wondering, whether you should try it or not, I'm going to say don't. Don't try it, especially when you're trying to pack for a funeral for 8 people. Well, okay, not really eight. Mr. Moe, myself, and the older girls were capable of packing for themselves. The feral boy children, not so much. As always, not so much. Good morning, Wolfram. Thank you for your modly mod duties. Good morning, Alice G. and Super T. and Penny Williams and Fun Dian, Factual Lie. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, it was a nice service. The pastor did a really great job, but I will tell you guys, yeah, all that and neurovirus or look, whatever, look, basically my butts and my guts were trying to leave me expeditiously. It's too early on a Monday to try to get me to figure out what I'm saying. Great success. And forget about what she did last Friday. I must have been under a rock this weekend uh, because Katy Perry is John Benet Ramsey. This was a thing that we were honestly floating. Okay, internet, okay. Good morning, Samantha Shoe Lover and Denise Sells and Audio Coffee. So, yeah, Katy Perry has responded to the conspiracy theory that she is, in fact, John Benet Ramsey. Y'all, I did not have this on my bingo card. Katy Perry is addressing one of the most shocking rumors about John Benet Ramsey, which involves herself. The fireworks singer has responded to an Instagram post containing an AI generated video showing the child beauty queen transforming into her, an apparent nod to a 2014 conspiracy theory that alleges that the 6-year old's 1996 murder was in fact a hoax, and the two are actually the same person. On March 1st, Katie, 40 years old, commented, "Wait, am I?" John Benet was found, with a head laceration and strangled in the basement of her parents' home, you know, in Boulder, Colorado in 1996. No one has ever been charged in the murder, which has been the topic of just oodles and caboodles of all the crime conspiracies. Now, John Benet's dad says that he hasn't given up on solving the case. The 81-year-old met with Boulder Police's new chief, Steve Redfern, in January and said it was the first time in 28 years that he felt like everything was in good hands. NBC News reported in January. We're just open to sincerely discuss the case, he told the outlet. "I'm very impressed with the caliber of leadership now, and that gave me great hope." John Benet's father, who was the one who discovered his daughter's body, also expressed hope that forensic genealogy could help solve other cold cases and will yield answers, adding, "That's how it's going to get solved." So there we go. Now, who in the crap spackle did this? Like, who had 27 minutes and 2 hot pockets and decided to do this on the internets? Because, I mean, you can make anyone's face morph into anyone else's face. We all saw it. Black or white with Michael Jackson. This is not a new thing. How in the hell did anyone think it's really Katy Perry? Oh, for the love of God. But apparently, this is an internet thing that is going around. So I did not have this on my bingo card, but I'm going to go ahead and put my vote for nah on on the Katy Perry being John Benet Ramsey. Well, people who need their moms to be charged along with them if they are underage Four suspects arrested in a mass shooting that erupted in a New Mexico park. Four suspects, including two 17-year-old boys and a 15-year-old boy, and another 15-year-old boy. So it looks like there has to have been at least one 19-year-old in there, or at least adult. Otherwise, they would have said all of the suspects' ages, have been arrested and charged with multiple counts of murder stemming from a mass shooting that left 3 other teenagers dead and at least 15 other people injured at an unsanctioned car show in Las Cruces, New Mexico, police said on Sunday. Excuse me while we just expand for Chief, yes, sir. Sir, we need to inspect your handcuffs for science. All right, enough of that. But ladies, your morning beefcake. Now back to a serious story. But I just thought I'd, lighten our mornings up with something at least. Now, the deceased are a 19-year-old man, an 18-year-old man, and a 16-year-old young man, the police say. The injured victims range from ages of 16 to 36, the Las Cruces Police Department said in a statement to ABC News. Now, the shooting unfolded at around 10 p.m. local time on Friday at Young Park. Officers arrived and learned of multiple gunshot victims. Most were transported to local hospitals. Some were taken to the University Medical Center of El Paso. Now, police announced early Saturday on social media that they had arrested Thomas Rivas, 20, a 17-year-old boy, in connection with the shooting. And then on Sunday afternoon, they also arrested the third and fourth suspects, another 17-year-old boy, and then the additional 15-year-old boy. Now, Rivas and the 3 juveniles, whose names were not released, were all charged with 3 open counts of murder. Additional charges against the suspects are pending, according to the police. Now, the victims killed in the shooting were identified by police as Andrew Madrid, 16, Jason Gomez, 18, and Dominic Estrada, 19. Now, Madrid and Gomez, according to police, died on scene, while Estrada was taken to Mountain View Regional Medical Center in Las Cruces, where unfortunately he was pronounced dead. Now, during a conference on Saturday, Las Cruces officials said that an unsanctioned car show was being held at the park before the shooting, and there was an altercation between 2 groups of people that led to an exchange of gunfire. 9 men and 6 women were hit in the crossfire and suffered gunshot wounds. 7 of the victims were taken to hospitals in El Paso, while the remainder were treated in hospitals in Las Cruces. Their names are not being withheld to protect their privacy. Oh, okay, according to police. Now, Shanquay Hextall, 27, a team captain of the El Paso-based car club, told ABC News that he was in the park for a show when the shooting broke out. He said his training from his 8-year career in being an active duty soldier in the U.S. Army kicked in when he heard the gunshots. I heard the pops going off and I'm thinking it's someone's car, like their exhaust backfiring. But then once it didn't stop and other people started running, I was like, that's not what that's supposed to be. Good morning, Kay. He said he rushed to help victims, grabbing wherever he could, use makeshift tourniquets or something to apply pressure to wounds, shoelaces, t-shirts, a pair of sweatpants. Once the gunfire stopped and I'm looking around, I see bodies on the ground, Hextall said. Hextall said he rendered aid to a teenager who was crying to him, "Go help my dad." At this point, I'm just trying to make sure he stays awake and keep telling him to talk to me to make sure he's still good, Hextall said of the wounded teen victim. I take one of the t-shirts to try to bandage some of the wounds, and then he stops me and he's like, "Bro, go help my dad." The Las Cruces Police Department said it received assistance on the investigation from the FBI, the New Mexico State Police, Donna Ana County Sheriff's Office, and the Federal Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms. So just doggone it. People, stop doing dumb stuff. If you have a beef with someone, do you really need to take a life? I will never get that. Look, I am about the most goofy person you will ever meet. And call me out my name. I don't really care, but I'm not going to. It's just such a waste. Well, it looks like in an update to one of our stories that suspect, the wife of slain California fire captain, has been arrested in Mexico on suspicion of murder. So it does look like we have finally found this woman who is, alleged to have killed her wife. A month after an official with the California Department of Forestry and Fire Protection was found slain at her home, the woman's wife has been arrested in Mexico on suspicion of murder, authorities said. Now, investigators had named Yolanda Ojnasnik Marjodi as a prime suspect in the February 17th stabbing death of California Fire Captain Rebecca Marodi, 49, in Ramona near San Diego. Now, the Yolanda was arrested Saturday at a hotel in the city of Mexicali, just south of the U.S. border, according to officials in Mexico. Now, Mexican state security agents transferred her to the U.S. Marshals, and she was returned to the United States, according to a statement from the San Diego County Sheriff's Office. Well, this is the woman who lost her life, and then this is the woman that they caught in Mexico. So that is who that is. Now, she was booked into custody in San Diego, and the investigation into Marodi's killing remains ongoing. Now, Marodi, a decorated captain with a state agency, was part of the battle against the Eaton fire in January near Los Angeles. She and Yolanda had been married for just over 2 years. Now, Yolanda was previously convicted in the fatal stabbing of her then husband, James Ojnasnik. The Los Angeles Times reported she had pled guilty to voluntary manslaughter after the stabbing in 2000. Look, if you know your chick has done stabbed before, this is a red sign. I mean, I didn't think I'd have to say this, but if the person that you currently find your heart aflutter for has been convicted of maliciously stabulating her ex, it is a red flag. I mean, I didn't think I would have to say that. But yeah, if she stabbed before, she might stab again. I mean, it is a kind of, that old canard of, if he'll cheat with you, he'll cheat on you. I guess if she'll stab him, she'll stab you. I mean, I don't want to have to be like the bearer of bad news, but if your, recent love interest has been accused of stabulating people, probably not a good sign. Now, she had been at large since the death and had driven to Mexico the night after the death, according to a statement from the sheriff's office. She was seen on surveillance video earlier in the evening arguing with Rebecca and physically assaulting her before leaving the house. Now, home security footage from the surveillance camera at the couple's home depicted a brutal scene on the evening of February 17th, according to an arrest warrant obtained by the Times. A woman believed to be Marodi can be heard in the video screaming, "Yolanda, please, I don't want to die," before appearing in the video with blood on her back, according to the warrant. Now, the footage shows that Yolanda was packing her items into a silver SUV, which was seen about an hour later crossing the border into Mexico, according to the warrant. Yeah, so again, if she stabbed before, she might stab again. Now, I'm not saying this goes down as an unofficial, alleged in Arkansas sort of thing, but this is looking all the suspiciousness, at least from what I was able to pick up when I was in and out of, the news this weekend. Now, former federal U.S. Attorney Jessica Aber was found dead in Virginia at 43. Now, this seems to be a little sus, just a little, or at least a little unexpected. Now, former United States Attorney for the Eastern District of Virginia, Jessica Aber, was found dead on the morning of March 22nd in Virginia, according to local police. She was 43. Now, police in Alexandria, Virginia, were called to the home on Beverly Drive in the suburb of Washington, D.C. around 9:18 a.m. for a report of an unresponsive woman, according to a police statement. Unfortunately, she had passed away. Now, police say there is an investigation underway surrounding the circumstances of her death. Two sources close to the investigation told ABC News that the death appears to be from natural causes. At this point, there is no indication of foul play. Yeah, well, when anonymous sources tell you anything from. Look, you guys, this is probably, unfortunately, sadly, someone passing unexpectedly early. But with all the shenanigans that are coming out of the government here lately, I mean, I'm going to need video proof that Hillary Clinton was across the country, is all I'm saying. I need to know where Hillary is, and make sure she's not in Indiana, because I make way too many Hillary jokes. We just need a Hillary tracker for those of us who make too much fun of her. Good morning, Jem. And Tammy CA and Captain Kern, good morning. It is good to be back. There were so many times I kept thinking, my internet friends, I need them here because, you never know who's going to be quite okay with like your level of dark humor. Because people are like, oh, I have a really good sense of humor. And I'm like, I don't think you understand how dark my dark humor goes. Like, this is like 99% cacao chocolate, dark chocolate. Like, we are bitter baking chocolate here. So, it I missed you guys being there because there were some things like I love all the support, and I love that people want to come up and hug the family at the end of the funeral. But can I tell you what is possibly an introvert's worst nightmare at any time would be the hug at the end. And we have some long huggers. So, by the time I'm kind of start to wonder if I should get a hostage negotiator to come out and save me. And I feel bad because I know some people get great and deep comfort from, hugs from family members. And if I hug you, look, I'm not a Jamie. I'm not gonna bear hug you. It's gonna be like a socially acceptable, unless you are like family, like I gave birth to you and or married you, and or no, you enjoy those kind of hugs. Like it is the sort of tap tap on the back and then we let go. Okay, that's what we do. I know you guys feel terrible about my having to receive human kindness. But that was just the only thing because Mr. Mo said, "Yeah, I am usually blurry this morning. I need to reset my camera, but not much more than usually." So, yeah. Okay, I'm kind of with you. And then it was a bit that, but it was more that I've just never been a good hug person, and I never know how long you're supposed to hug someone, and then I want to pet someone, because I just like, what am I supposed to do with my arms? Like, I'm pretty sure we're done with, like, are we done with the hug now? Am I supposed to keep patting you on the back? Like, I don't know. And I don't know everyone's level of hug comfort. So I'm very, very kind about my hug comfort. And but I will say, all jokes aside, there are a lot of things that were just very sweet and wonderful, but seeing my youngest, most ferals, I I didn't expect to see them tear up and cry as much as they did. And that, as a mom, you you want to do anything you can to make kiddos, hurts anything like a bump, a bruise, you used to be able to fix all of their stuff when they're toddlers and when they're babies, and you can, go, we can go nurse, you can go give them an ice pack. But those hurts that your hug, a kiss, a band-aid, you know can't fix, those ones are the ones that break your mom heart. Those are the ones that are like, okay, all right, now I'm crying hysterically, now you got me. But so I needed my internet friends who understand that, you know, when Mo is just laughing because something struck her as in terribly funny, it was not the situation. It was probably her trying to figure out why glue doesn't stick to the bottle. Well, let me see if I can work on that. Settings. Oh, I see what it did. I don't want it to touch up my. I didn't want it. So, StreamYard has this new thing where you can touch up your appearance, which I don't ever want to do because honestly, I don't understand how filters work. And let's be real, this is what it is. Like, there's not going to be a filter that's going to put my boobs back where they used to could be, or, make me tan out in the sun instead of turn into a lobster. Like, there are some things that filters cannot do. And personally, I mean, the only thing I like to lie about in a professional, capacity is my weight on my driver's license, but that is a tacit or tacket agreement that the government and women have been doing for years and years. So far be it from me to break this generations, of tacit, government lying about my weight, you know, in the just by me. Like, how dare I tell the truth and ruin it for every woman out there? So as I have always been, I am 110 pounds. And if I get pulled over and one trooper doesn't say in your bra, then my life will have been complete. Because yes, honestly, y'all, it's my weight on my driver's license is a bit, just hoping that someone will remember liar, liar. And then they'll just say, like, yeah, in your bra. And I will laugh hysterically. That is my life. This is the person that you're talking to. So, in all honesty and seriousness, I hope that, Jessica Aber's family are getting all the support they have, and invite Hillary to the funeral. I mean, look, I don't know how that works, but I think if you don't invite her, you know, it just keeps going on. Now, y'all, as I just got done saying, look, I have dark humor and I don't generally find most stuff offensive, but there's something offensively unfunny and offensive about this shirt. And both of these things are terrible. A daughter of a 9/11 victim slams Etsy over a crashed shirt showing a plane shaped Garfield the cat flying into lasagna towers. Have some humanity. You guys, I I can't with it. How am I in bigonate? No, I don't. Yeah, 9/11. I'll take 911 orders of lasagna. Just, this is terrible. This is not even funny. And I suck at graphics. I suck at graphics, but even I know this is terrible. Like, nothing about this is funny, eye catching, even semi ironically funny. It's just terrible on all so many levels. All the levels. The daughter of a 9/11 victim slammed online marketplace Etsy after she saw a targeted t shirt ad showing comic cat Garfield flying headfirst into two towers made of lasagna, a shocking reference to the terrorist attack on New York City more than 2 decades ago. Amy Stabile, whose father, Herman Broghammer, died during the 2001 tragedy, had been scrolling through Facebook when she came across the tasteless ad featuring a plane shaped Garfield, which sold t shirts bearing the design. She told Fox News 5 New York. The shirt shows, okay, so we can all see what it shows. I just couldn't believe my eyes. Stable told Fox 5. When I saw Garfield, I couldn't even understand how it went together. Probably not a lie. And good morning, Jedi Chess. There are so many things you can put on a t shirt, she continued. You know, hand jobs for all, rack o' justice, screw yourself sideways with a cactus, which is on its way, y'all. My shirt is on its way. So we should be able to see how it lines up on the boobular region, because I did want it sort of, in the boobular region for all of the committees, the big boulder holder committee and the itty bitty committee. Hopefully, we've got them all covered. It's important to me as the ladyist. And I did take consideration for moobs. So I am all of the inclusive. There are just so many things you could put on a t shirt, she continued. Why this? You feel so crushed that anyone could think that the loss of these lives is funny. The 5-star seller marketing the garments, I'm not going to say so it's in Australia, describes itself as a place that sells silly merch for silly dudes. But apparently it realized that the shirts were not at all that silly when they pulled it off the website as of Saturday, according to people. I think it's Teespring, so I will definitely check into how big they go up. But I think they do. I will double check that though, because I don't want to lie to you. Now, Etsy's own policy bars items that promote, support, or glorify hatred and violence. Etsy did not respond to the magazine's request for comment, but a spokesperson told Fox 5 that the marketplace will make sure that t-shirts don't end up in ads. However, it won't demand their removal since humor is subjective. But it still stings Stable, who says the selling platform should have stricter content policies. Maybe it's time for them to start creating policies where this goes against company policies. You're making money off of terrorism. Where are these companies? Stand up for the families of 9/11 and do something about this. At some point, you want to say, have some humanity and think about how you're making money. Now, Broghammer, 58, who worked in insurance, had been attending a meeting on the 103rd floor of the World Trade Center's South Tower when he died during the terror attack, according to his obituary. So, yeah, this is, it's just not even funny. I mean, if you're going to take a controversial subject, you better make damn sure that your joke is effing funny. It's just effing funny. You better make sure it's incredibly, good. Ooh, I love that I have ADHD on my own thing, because I was like, ooh, the pyramids. What's going on here? There is a vast underground city below Egypt's Giza pyramid, Giza pyramid. Scientists' wild theory claims, but experts debunk it as fake news. Interesting. I was hoping we would find out where the lizard people came, or the Anunnaki went. I mean, aren't the Anunnaki... Researchers claim they discovered the legendary halls of the Ameneti in a vast city beneath Egypt's pyramids in Giza, a wild theory that has perplexed archaeological experts who dismiss the claims as fake news. Now, Italian and Scottish scientists studying the pyramid of Khafre say that the groundbreaking study has redefined the boundaries of satellite data analysis and archaeological exploration, according to the spokesperson Nicole Cicolo. Now aptly named the Khafre Project, Corrado Mengele from Italy's University of Pisa and Filippo Bondi of the University of Strathclyde in Scotland led the expedition to discover the Giza Plateau's second largest pyramid. Okay. I mean, sure. Because, the Scottish have always been known at finding pyramids. Indiana, Scotland. Scientists said that they located five small room-like structures inside the pyramid using synthetic aperture radar (SAR) technology. One structure contained a sarcophagus mistakenly thought to be a pharaoh's tomb, the team said in a press release. Now, the group claims that the five structures, previously unknown before the images, were found in the center of the pyramid. The newly discovered structures are connected to pathways that lead below the surface and are believed to expose hidden rooms and wells under the 4,500-year-old, wonder of the world. Electromagnetic signals were turned into phonic data that unveiled larger infrastructure leading down thousands of feet underground. Oh, well, daggone it. Well, Robert James, how are we ever going to know where the Anunnaki went? I mean, where is that guy with the goofy hair for, ancient aliens going to get all of his stuff if we just tell him it's caves? That being said, I mean, it's daggone Egypt. Who wouldn't want to get underground and out of, the sun? The alleged newly discovered structures are connected to pathways that lead below the surface and are believed to expose hidden rooms and wells. Oh, there we go. Sorry. The 8 large vertical structures, theorized to be either wells or shafts, are thought to extend over 6,500 feet across and over 2,000 feet below ground. Interesting. Researchers didn't reveal the use of the larger structures that stretch below the ground zero, but plan for further analysis and possible excavation to verify the artificial nature of the structures. Now, the project used 2 satellites from 420 miles up in space to send down radar signals that photographed the pyramids. Okay, I'm not trying to be dumb as all hell, but if you're taking pictures from space, how are you going to look inside this? Is it X-ray? Again, explain it to me like I'm 5.5 and blonde, which I am under here. Now, data was compiled into images to create a rough copy of what is believed to be below the pyramids, including the 8 wells. The hollow structure consists of a spiral pathway leading down further underground. Okie dokie. I mean, it kind of looks like the Shroud of Turin to me, or like an ultrasound of a kidney stone, or a spine. Now, the group used the data to make a rough 3D model estimating what is believed to have been hidden from the world's eye. When we magnify the images in the future, we will reveal what's beneath it and can only be described as a true underground city, one of the, scientists claimed. But skepticism and accusations that the study was a hoax arose when the project did not publish the information with any peer review from any independent researchers. Dr. Zali Hawass, a renowned archaeologist and Egypt's former Minister of Antiquities, promptly called the claims completely false and fake news. The claim of using radar inside the pyramid is false, and techniques employed are neither scientifically approved of or validated, he told the national newspaper. Well, I mean, but it does look pretty cool. Ish. I mean, one researcher at the University of Denver said the claims were exaggerated as the technology is not advanced enough to create images like that. Radar expert Lawrence Connors said that there is a likelihood that the five smaller structures found just below the surface may be there because of the history of the area. Connors said that the land was sacred to ancient civilizations even before the pyramids were constructed. The wild claims have contributed to a growing interest in the possibility of discovery of ancient text or other resources from Egyptian myths. A remarkably strong correlation between the layout and characteristics of these underground chambers and the legendary halls of the Amenti as described in ancient myths, Kilklo has said. So it sounds like they're trying to get a little bit of confirmation bias against old myths. I don't know. Now, the halls of Amenti include the Fable Hall of Records, a hidden room believed to be underneath the pyramid complex or the Great Sphinx, containing resources of information about the ancient people of the area. These new archaeological findings could redefine our understanding of sacred topography of ancient Egypt, providing spatial coordinates for previously unknown and unexplored subterranean structures. So maybe, I don't know, I still think maybe we're going to figure out how the Anunnaki, busted off this popsicle stand and we can go join them. I mean, I'm open to it. Someone who's probably open to joining anyone as long as they aren't looking at the Hollywood take might be Rachel Zegler and Disney. Disney's Snow White opens with a lackluster $43 million amid controversies and poor reviews. And poor reviews are saying something. These are god-awful. It was more a ho-hum than a hi-ho at the box office this weekend as Walt Disney Company's latest live-action remake, Snow White, arrived in theaters. Y'all, I am willing to go see this and do a tipsy, a tipsy review of this, but my kids don't want to go see it because that would be the only way I could justify going to see this. And welcome, Shizzy Raiders. And they're like, we don't want to go see this. The movie, which stars Rachel Zegler as the titular princess and Gal Gadot as the evil queen, opened in the US and Canada to a lackluster $43 million in ticket sales, landing in the first place at the domestic box office according to studio estimate. Now, prior to its release, Snow White was expected to haul in between $45 to $55 million this opening weekend. Except if you started watching these sort of estimations about a month ago, it went from 90 to 70 to 60, and then they went down to 45. So they had not expected this to tank as badly as it did. I think that Disney is overestimating the regular consumer's ability to deal with all of these stupid live action remakes. We don't want them. We don't want, all of these remakes. Make something new. Make some from, something that you have. If you want new, diverse, incredible stories, then write them yourselves. Oh, but you don't have any life experience other than, watching Jimmy Kimmel and thinking Jon Stewart's funny now. Okay, well then, find people that do have life experience and tell stories again. But I can tell you, as both a girl mom and a boy mom, I am so daggone tired of girl bosses and negating boys' roles in everything. You want to talk about toxic masculinity, and we want to bring this up all the time, and I'm going to go on a rant. So all of you people who are bloviating about toxic masculinity, where do you think, young boys get good masculinity? Not simp and feckless and stupid and useless behavior from. No, they get it from simple stories of a knight going to save a princess. Because I have raised young boys. Their natural inclination is to destroy, is to, break things down. But you tell any one of my 3 boys that, they need to protect a small little kid, oh, they won't let anyone get near that kid. They will try to be as gentle as it is humanly possible for wild feral boys to be, and they are very sweet and kind. But you know where they learn that from? They learn that from seeing their heroes, people around them, figures in pop culture. You know, little boys love Captain America because he goes, fights the bad guy, and he protects everyone. You want to teach boys to be shields, to use their power for good, to protect people around them, then you need to stop taking every single hero that we've had for boys in the last years, and every single series that has been boy centric. Disney has taken every single series. Star Wars. Now, I'm a Star Wars fan, but I know that I'm not the target demo. I wasn't. It still appealed to me because this was a timeless story of good versus evil, of the hero's journey. But I wasn't the the target audience, and I was okay with that because I had the princesses and I could still do Star Wars stuff. It was amazing. But Disney has systematically taken every single boy hero sort of franchise away and added girl boss and this and that and the other. And it is getting tiresome to the point of, if you have young boy children, then we will just let them watch, the the classics, because that's what they want. And if you don't think that the classics are selling more, Disney Snow White just lost. They didn't make nearly the same amount as the live action Disney Dumbo remake, okay, from several years ago. So if you think that you haven't told parents enough to turn off and tune out, especially if you have boy children, if you want your boys to learn anything but to be quiet and stand back as they hold their wife's purse and she, saves the day, then we're watching not Disney shows because there's Sonic out there. So, Epic Universe is coming to a point where I wouldn't be shocked to see if there isn't going to be major upset within the next several years, especially as Epic Universe, the expansion to Universal theme parks, really gets in and swinging, and Disney's constant raises, both the prices of the parks and everything that they want to give people. It's gonna be interesting. And Jedi Jess, you're right. Even in Star Wars, they had a good balance of a female hero and male one. And Leia wasn't a hero in the same way that Luke was. She didn't have to be Han Solo. She got to be Leia. She got to be, Padme. Although still Anakin was like 9, ma'am, 9. We'll put you on a teacher watch list, Padme. That being said, I would not expect Snow White to get any big bumps in their ticket sales. I think that it's going to be out in theaters for a long time, just to limp it over possibly the 200 million mark. But I'm not an expertologist in this thing. I mean, well, yes, because she had training. She was a diplomat of a rogue, thing. Now, if you want to watch a pretty good, modern retelling of Snow White, I have 2 recommendations for you. Snow White, A Tale of Terror, that has Sigourney Weaver in it, and it's really dark and it's more adult. But Mirror Mirror had, I think, Lily Collins and Julia Roberts on it, and they were okay, I thought. I thought it was a pretty fun one. Well, I guess if you're going to go viral for having a great mugshot. Viral Georgia sorority girl Lily Stewart flashes smile in new mugshot after second arrest within weeks. I just hate her right now. Her hair is all purified and everything. How do you look like Miss America at your... What is going on here? Take two. The Georgia sorority sister who went viral for her glamorous mugshot photo landed in legal trouble and in front of a jail camera again Sunday when she was booked on a pair of new charges, according to records. Now, Lily Stewart, 20 years old, was arrested 2 weeks after she was initially pulled over and placed into custody on a speeding charge that was later dismissed. The University of Georgia student, who is a member of the Alpha Chi sorority, was hit with fresh charges of obstruction of law enforcement officer and loitering and prowling after she was arrested by campus police around 5:30 a.m., according to jail records from the Athens-Clarke County Sheriff's Office. I will say that is a spooky ass smile. I mean, y'all, if she smiles at you like that, she ain't right. She is getting ready to stab you. Oh, that's a little less stabulators, but this is bunny boiler man. Look, if this chick is smiling at you, she will boil your pet bunny. Do not let her in the house. Now, both charges are misdemeanors. More information about the circumstances around her arrest was not immediately known. Stewart flashed a smile in her Sunday morning booking photo and appeared to be wearing prison garb, according to pictures obtained by TMZ, which first reported on the sorority girl's second arrest. Now, the co-ed was cut loose from the detention center that morning after posting a $4,000 bond, according to jail records. Her attorney, Stephen Morris, declined comment in an email to the Post Sunday evening about the new charges, but confirmed the speeding charge from March 8th has been dismissed. Now, Stewart lit up social media when her mugshot from her first arrest quickly went viral last week, with the college student leaning into the newfound attention by posting her favorite comments on her TikTok page. Yeah, I mean, she looks less cray-cray there, but still kind of cray-cray. Like, she's the one that's going to have, be up for arson. Like, if she was in TLC, she'd be my Lisa Left Eye Chili, she just would. Although I think I messed up those names. Honestly, I remembered all their names when I was a fan, and then I have slept since then. I think it's hilarious. I don't know what all the hype is about. I just took a mugshot and went on with my day. I love all the comments poking fun at me saying she was on her way to Lululemon or she must have had to pee really bad. Well, I mean, I guess I like her better as a brunette. Stewart's pristine jailhouse photo was a result of having her hair and makeup done for a birthday party that she was trying to Zoom to before she was stopped by Georgia State Patrol. I was going to a friend's birthday party in uh, Mildedgeville, Georgia, and had just gotten ready not long before, so that's why my makeup and hair still look good. Well, I mean, if cops could just pull me over when I have my hair recently done so I don't look like a troll, that would be awesome. Thank you. So, in a follow-up to the story that I brought you last week, Georgia, let's see. Prison inmate said he beat Scott Peterson, quote, to the ground in a pickleball fight. Well, we had to get the other guy's side, and, far be it that we take, Scott Peterson's side over Charles Miles' side. So let's see what Charles's side is. Now, prison inmate Charles Miles gave notorious wife unaliver Scott Peterson a beating behind bars earlier this month, and now he's sharing his side of the story. In an exclusive preview clip obtained by TMZ, Charles tells Court TV via a phone call that he went into quote unquote attack mode after Scott ran into him during a game of pickleball. Now, he said that Scott had aggressively sprinted at him with his paddle in hand, allegedly to chase the ball, but made no effort to avoid him. And then this pissed Charles off, who said he beat him down to the ground and beat the hell out of him. Charles said There was a bit of a struggle, but once he overpowered Scott, climbed on him, and started pounding him. Sir, you're in prison and you're like, look, I just got on and I started pounding. And now, I mean, there is no way for me to give y'all this quote without giggling. Now, despite the fight, it seems that Charles and Scott are a-okay with each other now. Charles confirms to Court TV that they spoke about the brawl the next day to clear things up. He said he felt it was in his best interest to be on good terms with Scott, considering how much money he has, meaning he could pay fellow inmates to gang up on him. Believe it or not, Charles even said he and Scott talked it out about 2 hours together directly after the altercation. That is, from isolated cells a few spots down from each other. Oh God, they got Vinnie Politain on the damn... Oh no, not Vinny. Vinny, they didn't have to do you this dirty. Charles even claimed that after he apologized, he saying that a primal urge was triggered when he saw Scott coming at him full speed, adding that his anger was intensified over him being a convicted woman and child killer. Now, he said Scott tried convincing him of his innocence, which he has maintained ever since his wife Lacey was found headless in the San Francisco Bay more than 20 years ago. Their unborn child was separated from Lacey when their bodies were found. Scott was convicted of murdering Lacey on Christmas Eve in 2002 and sentenced to death, but his conviction was overturned in 2020 and he was resentenced with life in prison without parole. And it looks like we can watch Vinnie Politain with the full interview. Oh my gosh. The man who beat down Scott Peterson. Excuse me. I mean, news is news, I guess. In a sad story, and normally I don't do anything political on here unless to let you know people have passed. And unfortunately, former Utah Representative Mia Love, the first Black Republican woman elected to the U.S. House, passed away. That is not a picture of her. This is a picture of her. Thank you, New York Post, for never having the video that correlates to the story that you'd like to tell. Just A1, #1 reporting. Now, former U.S. Representative Mia Love, the first Republican Black woman elected to Congress, has passed away, her family announced Sunday night. She was 49 years old. With grateful hearts filled to overflowing for the profound influence of Mia on our lives, we want you to know that she passed away peacefully today, Love's family wrote in a statement on X. Love, who represented Utah's 4th Congressional District from 2015 to 2019, died in her home in Saratoga Springs, about 30 miles outside of Salt Lake City. The former Congresswoman had been battling brain cancer and had recently underwent immunotherapy as part of a clinical trial at Duke University's Brain Tumor Center before her death. Love's daughter said earlier this month that her mother's cancer was no longer responding to treatment. In the midst of a celebration of her life and an avalanche of happy memories, Mia quietly slipped the bands of mortality and, as her words and visions always did, soared heavenward. We are thankful for the many good wishes, prayers, and condolences. We are taking some time as a family and will provide information about funeral services and public celebration of her life in the days to come. She leaves behind a husband, Jason, and 3 children, Alyssa, Abigail, and Peyton. Utah Governor Spencer Cox called Love a true friend who was a trailblazer and visionary leader. So, hope that her family is getting all of the love and support, just like the, lawyer that we talked about who was found in her home. Hopefully all the families who are suffering right now are getting support and comfort that they can. And Y'all, I mean, every new story about air flight that comes out just makes me want to never fly ever again. Ever. A horrified mother says that United Airlines demanded that she remove a disabled son's ventilator before takeoff. Quote, so humiliated. Maybe they really are the lizard people. A woman named Melissa Sotomayor was shocked at how United Airlines treated her disabled son on a recent flight home from Tampa, Florida to New Jersey. Sotomayor took to TikTok in a now viral video with over 1 million views to share her sad experience. She began the video explaining her son's condition. My son's dependent on a trach, short for tracheostomy, and a ventilator. He has vision and hearing problems. The mother went on to explain that in order to fly safely, she made sure to have all of her son's medical documents ready to show if necessary. Now, Sotomayor and her baby flew to Florida without much of a hitch, but it was on the way back that trouble began. A male flight attendant approached me and stated that I needed to take my son off the ventilator and the portable oxygen concentrator because they needed to be secured for takeoff, she explained. After explaining to the flight attendant that the equipment is what was keeping her son alive, he asked Sotomayor for documentation, which she provided to him. One would think that the story would stop there, but think again. Sotomayor explained in her video that two more flight attendants and the captain approached her with the same sentiment requiring the medical or regarding the medical equipment. From the sounds of it, the flight crew did not ease up on Sotomayor, despite her having proof that she is allowed to keep her son's critical medical equipment on it. Yeah, yeah, you kind of need a ventilator and you need oxygen. That's He'll be okay until we're in the air at a higher enough altitude, a cold United staffer told her. Seeing how adamant Sotomayor was about her son's situation, the crew warned her that she might be moved off the seats if she wasn't willing to comply. After being taxied for an hour, other flyers started to chime in, calling Sotomayor's mistreatment by the airline staff harassment. Even more back and forth took place between the crew and the mother, and still no apology to Sotomayor. Finally, after what felt like probably forever, the captain announced that the plane was cleared for takeoff. I was really upset at the way we were humiliated in front of others and the way we were talked to, she shared in the video. The crude treatment didn't end on that flight. Sotomayor escalated the situation to United Airlines corporate level, and they continued to stand on their grounds, telling her that they don't go against FAA guidelines. The Post reached out to United Airlines for comments. You can imagine the uproar in the comment section of this mother's video, with people furious to hear of Sotomayor's disheartening experience. The fact that they thought taking your son off of oxygen and a ventilator for any amount of time would be fine is insane. So we boycott United Airlines. It seems like the only way we can get a point across these days is to stop paying these people, another comment read. Others suggested that Sotomayor look into hiring a lawyer. Please, please, please retain an attorney that specializes in ADA. Make all the noise. No one should have to go through this. The flight attendants are not allowed to ask you for any documentation. All of this is already provided prior your boarding. Lawyer up, girl, another commenter wrote. Well, I don't know how dumb you have to be to not comprehend that someone's oxygen can't wait until you're at, cruising altitude. I mean, what in the world is wrong with these people? And good on her that she had documentation, but I don't understand how anyone could not see that, you know, a ventilator is kind of needed, oxygen's kind of needed at all times. Well, I mean, it's a change of roles for him. Isaiah Stokes, Law and Order SVU, and Boardwalk Empire star, sentenced to 25 years in prison for a New York City murder. I mean, he's walking a red carpet of a different sort now. Actor Isaiah Stokes, who appeared in episodes of Boardwalk Empire, Law and Order Special Victims Unit, and more, has been or sentenced to 25 years to life in prison after being convicted of the 2021 murder of a New York City man. Queens District Attorney Melinda Katz announced Stokes' sentencing in a press release on Friday, March 21st. The actor was found guilty earlier this month of murder in the second degree, with 2 counts of criminal possession of a weapon in the second degree in the shooting death of 37-year-old Tyrone Jones. Justice has now been served for premeditated murder perpetuated by this defendant, and he will now spend 25 years to life in prison as a direct consequence of his criminal actions, Katz said in a statement. During a 2-week trial, prosecutors said Stokes, 45, had sought revenge against Jones since October 2020, when the victim kicked him out of his birthday party during an altercation at a Queens club. Now, according to the DA's office, Stokes was accused of placing a GPS tracker underneath Jones's car in late January 2021. Prosecutors said that Stokes had tracked down Jones on the afternoon of February 7, 2021, and was sitting in a parked SUV nearby just before the murder. Now, the actor then got out of the SUV, walked around the area for about 15 minutes before pulling out a gun and firing 11 times at Jones's car. Jones, who was waiting for a friend inside the car, sustained multiple gunshot wounds to the head and chest, prosecutors added, and medical personnel later pronounced him dead at the scene. Now, Stokes then drove back to his apartment in Queens' Rego Park neighborhood later that afternoon and returned the SUV to a rental location in Hackensack, New Jersey, per the DA's office. Now, the actor was found guilty on March 7th following his 2-week jury trial, which began on February 13th. You know, I think it was actually Play Zone, which was like even better if you like the smell of kids' feet and play equipment, which as a child I wasn't so on about. Yeah, but it was, it was showbiz. I don't get it. You know, I didn't know if I was going to cover this story, but sometimes we need someone who maybe takes life not as serious as we do. A sweet treat loving man granted his dying wish to be buried in a Snickers inspired coffin. Nuts. I mean, when you have a dream. He snickered in the face of death. A candy-loving British man who joked about wanting a Snickers-themed coffin got his dying wish. He was buried in a box modeled after the iconic sweet treat. Paul Broom, who worked as a care assistant at a home for adults with learning disabilities, would often allude to the peanutty idea, to the amazement of both family and friends. Broom was known for his quick wit and mischievous sense of humor, the deceased loved ones told Southwest News Service. His loved ones dismissed the rib-tickling request as a goof until the beloved Brit passed away and they saw what he'd put in his will. I mean, he seems like the type of guy who, look, I'm not saying that if, Milky Way would sponsor my casket, I wouldn't do it, but I mean, so they decided to grant Broom's dying wish, which they felt was the perfect way to honor the funny man's memory. The bereaved relatives interred the departed in a coffin that was designed to look like a partially unwrapped Snickers bar. It even had the phrase, "I'm nuts," painted on the side in homage to the Brits' zany sense of humor. Paul's family informed us that he was one of life's true characters, and his farewell needed to reflect that, said Ali Lego, funeral arranger at F.A. Holland Co-op Funeral Care in Chichester, who arranged the off-the-wall ceremony. His quick wit and sense of humor touched so many people, and the coffin was a fitting tribute to his unique personality, she said. The Barcophagus also featured a Crystal Place FC logo because Broome, who was originally from South London, was a devoted supporter of, oh, I'm sorry, Crystal Palace. Sorry to my UK members who know what football actually is, or soccer. Now, during the funeral, the procession passed by Paul's favorite cafe in Bognor Rees, where his friends' custom tribute t shirts applauded as he made his final journey in his candy inspired coffin. The family received nothing but positive feedback from those who attended, with many commenting on how the personal touches made the service a true celebration of Paul's life. It was an absolute privilege to help his family bring his final wishes to life. In a bizarre or similarly bizarre post mortem ritual in 2021, a man's kids fulfilled his dying wish by pouring his ashes down a bar drain. So there you go. I don't know which candy I'll be getting to, put on my chariot out of here. I will let you know. It'll probably be Little Debbie's of some sort. That is the news today. It is going to get crazier, you guys. If we started off this week with Katy Perry not being JonBenet Ramsey and, well, a Snickers casket, I mean, where can we go from here? I have no idea, but I'm willing to go on the journey with you. So let's see where this crazy train is going. Speaking of crazy trains, uh, the Petty Express is back. I will be back here at 10. We will, finish off day 6 and into day 7, and then hopefully verdict and sentencing fairly soon on this one. And we will find another dumpster fire trial for the Petty Express to run. It is the kiddos' spring break, so I might not be on every day. I will always do mornings with Mo, but I don't know how this week is gonna pan out for, making sure the kiddos get to do fun stuff and making sure the Petty Express runs. So we will play it by ear because it's looking to be a little rainy this week, which is not fun. Anywhoozle, thank you all for joining me. I hope you have a great day. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others, but carry a can of bitch fire because kindness no longer equals doormat. Bye, you guys.